What is up, everybody? Welcome to the very first episode of A Tipping Point here on the Monk Maddox channel. I am your host, Monk, aka the Monkmatician, and on this series, we're going to pick one fight and we're going to go deep. Deep? You want to go deep? I'll take you deep. And on this week, we picked Derek Brunson against Darren Till. I picked this fight because the line is pretty wide. Darren Till's currently minus 176, Brunson plus 147. And personally, I'm capping it the other way. I think Derek Brunson, in fact, I don't think Derek Brunson has, 90% of the stats as we're going to go through in this show. I still have to do some of my fight tape. I really like Derek Brunson here, though, guys. Really like him, not gonna lie. So let's get right into it. Derek Brunson, Darren Till. This is happening at middleweight. Brunson, 6'1", 77-inch reach, southpaw, 37 years old. So he is going to be bigger than Darren Till, 6 foot, 74-inch reach, so 3-inch reach disadvantage for Till, also a southpaw, 28 years old. So he is, 9 years younger than Derek Brunson. That could play a big part in this. I don't consider Derek Brunson to be old yet, but Darren Till, obviously the much younger fighter. Brunson last fought 163 days ago. Darren Till over a year ago, a year and almost 2 months. Professionally, Brunson 22-7, the 75.86 win rate. In the UFC, he's 13-5. He's currently ranked 5th in the division. 31% of his professional fights have gone the distance. 7 decision wins, 2 decision losses. 58.6% of his fights have gone to KO, TKO finishes. 12 wins, 5 losses, and then 3 sub wins and never been subbed. So he has a total of 15 finish wins out of 29 fights. So that's just over 50%, or 60%, I should say. Darren Till, it's late. I'm not doing that math in my head. Darren Till, 36% of his professional fights have gone to the distance. 50% of his fights have come by way of KO, TKO ending. 10 wins, 1 loss. And then he does have 2 wins, submission wins, I should say, and 1 submission loss in his career. That is 12 wins out of 18. 12 finished wins out of 18. And that number for Brunson, I couldn't think straight, was 15 wins out of 22 have come by finish. So some pretty high numbers there. Derek Brunson average fight time, or their total fight time, is only 10 minutes off. Darren Till's only fought 10 minutes less than Derek Brunson in the UFC. Brunson 8.25 average fight time compared to 13.84 for Till. Brunson, that's the 19th fastest fight time out of 64 in the middleweight division. Ass whooping index 13.45 for Brunson. That is a very high number. That is 10th in the division out of 64. He's got a high power index too, 0.95, 16th out of 64. But he also has a high as fuck chindex, weak chin, statistically. But you will see why. 1.19. In fact, I'll just tell you, he got knocked down, if you don't remember, 3 times in the Israel Adesanya fight. So that has a lot to do with this number right here. On the other side, Darren Till, minus 2.57 ass whoop index. It is negative. So 51 out of 64 there. He has a very high power index, 1.59, 7th in the division. Also a high chindex, not as high as Brunson, but pretty high. 0.73. 47th in the division there. We talked about the odds. This fight is minus 147, doesn't go. I don't have any inside the distance lines yet. Brunson is a plus 460 by decision. Till plus 220 by decision. So they really must think that Darren Till is just going to outstrike Derek Brunson. He's not going to beat him on the ground. But we'll get into the striking stats, and it might surprise you. My capping, 53.6% Brunson, 46.4% Till. In my heart of hearts, or in my stat heart, it's much higher for Brunson. A little higher, not much higher. Maybe 60-40. I just think Brunson's going to win this fight, man. Anyways, couple of notable and notable performances. Brunson's best win was a TKO win of Ed Herman. He subbed Brian Houston back in 2013. His worst loss was to Israel Adesanya, as Ariel Helwani says. Round 1 TKO loss. He also had one of those against Robert Whittaker. He also had one of those against Jacare Souza. But all, the nearest of those was November 3rd. Darren Till, round 1 KO win over Cerrone. He did not beat up Marion Renault. I don't know why this keeps happening. I get the wrong fighters here, but ignore that. He did not fight Marion Renault. Tyron Woodley, he got subbed in the second round, knocked out by Masvidal, and went to a decision with Nicholas Dalby. As far as UFC fight finishing data, 61.5% of Brunson's UFC fights have come by way of finish, of his wins, I should say. 80% of his losses have come by finish. So he tends to lean finish as far as the UFC goes. Darren Till, only 2 finish wins out of his 6 wins. And he has been finished 2 out of 3 times. Fight finishing data graphically is right here. 7 KO TKO wins for Derek Brunson. And a sub win. So 8 finish wins out of 13. That is huge. 62%. Yeah, huge. Darren Till, only 2 wins by way of finish, 3 by way of decision. Does have a knockout and a sub loss as well, as we said. Some round finishing data. 7 of Brunson's finishes have come in the first round. 38%, almost 39%. That is huge. And that's of all of his UFC fights. So 39% of his UFC fights, he's gotten a round 1 finish win. And he's gotten finished in 3 of those fights in the first round as well. So out of 18 fights, 10 of them have ended in the first round for Derek Brunson. That's crazy. That's 5 out of 9. It's like 54% in the first round. So you might want to think about violence on this one. Does not have a round 2 finish win, has a round 3 finish win, and has been finished in the third round once. Darren Till, never been finished in the first round, has a round 1 win, has a round 2 finish win, has 2 round 2 finish losses. Interesting. Derek Brunson does not have a round 2 finish win, so maybe we can get that taken care of this weekend. Who knows? Ass whooping index. In his finish wins, Derek Brunson gets 68.64 AWI. That is a very high number, good for 9th in the division. And his losses, minus 24. But that's pretty low as far as finish losses go. 15th in the division, has a fantastic ass whoop index in his decision fights. An even 11. That is good for 6th in the division. So overall, Derek Brunson is whooping some ass, okay? That's crazy to me to say, but it's true. Darren Till, 21.76. You compare that to the 68.64 for Brunson, not very good. 36 in the division. His ass whoop index in his finished losses is pretty close to Brunson. His ass whoop index in his decisions, negative 1.18. You at least want to see that positive. That's good for 34th out of 64 in the middleweight division. Let's get into some real numbers here. Little water break. Basic striking data for Brunson. 3.55, or thrown. He's thrown 7.59 significant strikes per minute. 31st in the division. He lands 3.55 of those per minute at a 46.8% accuracy. So pretty run-of-the-mill numbers there. That accuracy is below average. He gets hit with 2.84 significant strikes per minute. 54% defense. Gives him a positive striking differential of 0.71 per minute. That is good for 23 out of 64 in the middleweight division. Darren Till, 2.27 strikes landed per minute, throws less than 5 per minute, at an accuracy of 46.11%. He gets hit with just under 3 significant strikes per minute, 58.86% defense, but has a negative 0.72 significant strikes landed per minute differential, which is good for 56 out of 64. So towards the very low end of the division. And what am I seeing here, guys? The only basic striking category that Darren Till leads Derek Brunson in is significant striking defense. 59% to 54%. Everywhere else, it's Derek Brunson, and it's not... Offensively, it's not close. The accuracy is close, but the volume, not close. The defense is a little bit closer, but still Derek Brunson does not take as many punches as Darren Till per 15 minutes, and that significant striking differential is a 1.4 difference between the two. That's a big, big difference per minute. Advanced striking data, Brunson, 0.69% efficiency. He fights 59.41% of his total fight time at distance. Darren Till has a 5% efficiency and fights almost 80% of his total fight time at distance, which is 13th in the division. When Brunson throws more than 100 significant strikes, which has happened in 4 fights, he lands 4.76 per minute, which is over 1 strike more than normal at the 3.55 rate. So when he throws more, he lands more. I know that sounds like it should happen, but not always the case. That 4.76 number is good for 16th in the division, and he's won 3 out of 4 of those fights. Where you look on Till's side, he's only thrown over 100 strikes once, and that has dropped his number from 2.27 to 1.52. He's in the one fight he threw over 100 strikes over 100 strikes. He only landed 1.52 per minute. He did win that fight, however. So think about that. That means his accuracy was terrible in that fight. Knockdown data. Let's move on. Derek Brunson, 5 knockdowns. 0.51 knockdowns per 15. That's 13th in the division. But he also has been knocked down 5 times. 56 in the division there. 100% knockdown win rate. 100% knockdown against loss rate. Darren Till also with 5 knockdowns. That's good for 0.54 knockdowns per 15, just better than Brunson. Has only been knocked down 3 times compared to 5. Has a positive KD per 15 differential. Has only a 60% knockdown win rate, though, but a 100% knockdown against loss rate. So that means in the 5 fights Darren Till scored a knockdown in, he's only won 3 of them. Basic takedown data. Again, and just look at the screen for a second. Green is good. Red is bad. I don't think I have to tell you that. This is all Derek Brunson on the ground. All Derek Brunson. So he won the striking stat, okay, for the most part, except for the striking defense and efficiency. Look at this, though. Derek Brunson averages 9.4 takedowns attempted per 15 minutes. That's 9th in the division. He lands almost 3 at a 31% accuracy. So the accuracy is not great, but the volume is astronomical. He's only getting 0.1 takedowns landed against per 15 minutes. That's 14th best in the division. At a 93.75% takedown defense rate. That is insane. That's 9th highest out of 64. He's stuffed 15 out of 16 takedowns. My God. Has an 8.26% takedown shooting rate, top 10. Has a 24.93% takedown efficiency rate, top 15. A 2.83 takedowns landed per 15 differential, 11th in the division. On the other side, Till, 0.54 landed per 15, 41% accuracy. So he is better in the accuracy, but that's literally it. His takedown landed against 0.76, not a huge number. His takedown defense is actually very good, 82.93%. That is actually fantastic. But it's 11 points lower than Derek Brunson, okay? Just not the one, man. Just not the one. Takedown shooting rate, only 1.76. His efficiency is right there with Brunson, though, 24.59%. But still, not as good as Brunson. Advanced takedown data. Takedowns landed per 15 minutes in his wins, Brunson, 3.36. In his finish wins, 2.7. And in his decision wins, 3.53. In his losses, he's under 2. So it's safe to say that if if Derek Brunson takes you down more than twice, he's going to win the fight. Yeah. Takedowns landed per 15 when he attempts 2 or more takedowns. Derek Brunson, and that's happened in 11 fights. It goes from 2.93 to over 3, 3.24. And he wins 63% of those fights. Darren Till, some below 1 everywhere in these takedowns per 15 numbers. When he attempts 2 or more takedowns, his takedown landed per 15 goes from 0.54 to 0.87. He does win 3 out of 4 of those fights, though. Now look at this. This is the number I kind of wanted to look at. When he's facing 2 or more takedown attempts, which he's probably going to do against Derek Brunson, he's done this in 9 fights. The takedowns landed against per 15 against him has gone from 0.76 to 0.93. So still less than 1, but it has gone up. And he has still won 55.56% of those fights. So just over half, 5 of 9. Basic control time data. Derek Brunson, 38.41%, 11th in the division. 2.18% against him, 6th in the division. That's a huge control time differential of 36.23%. Control time per 15 differential of over 5 minutes. Total time fought inside the distance is 40.59%. Let's keep going for Derek Brunson. Out of that 40.59%, Derek Brunson has controlled 94.63% of that time. That is a huge number. 94.5% of the grappling time. That's 3rd out of all of the middleweight division. Has a 12-second get-up time, also 3rd. That's an incredibly fast get-up time. His hold-down time, 36.77. Has a decent control time activity rate of 7.33. Which is good for 43rd out of 64 in the division. When he attempts 2 or more takedowns, which has happened in 11 fights, as we know, his control time goes up 2 whole percent to 40%. His control time against doesn't hardly move no matter how many takedowns he is facing. Basic control time data for Darren Till. Again, all red for Till, all green for Brunson. 7.4% total control time, 13.34 control time against, which gives him a negative control time differential of 6%, basically. 39th in the division. He has fought 20.73% of his total fight time has come inside the distance. He has only controlled 35.68% of that grappling time. He has a 27-second get-up time, which is decent, 17th in the division, but not great. Compared to Derek Brunson anyway. That is pretty good, but not compared to Brunson. He has a 51-second hold down time. But going against the guy that's 3rd in the division in his get-up time, how's that going to work out? I don't know. Has a better control time activity rate at 12.31. His control time does go up 3% when he attempts 2 or more takedowns. His control time against goes up 3% when his opponent attempts 2 or more takedowns, and that's happened in 9 fights. So some interesting perspectives there. Submission data, Brunson, 1 for 4. He attempts 0.4 submissions per 15 minutes. No one's attempted one against him. He has a 25% success rate. 0.36 submission attempt rate. Darren Till has never attempted a submission. 2 people have attempted submissions against him. 1 was successful. Reversal data, nothing for Brunson and nothing for Till. Advanced significant striking data, I'm kind of just looking for what stands out to me here. A lot of green for Derek Brunson, especially in the volume numbers. He's throwing more than Till. He's landing more than Till almost everywhere. Till does have a little bit better defense and accuracy in about half the categories. But volume-wise, it's Brunson, the wrestler. Advanced significant striking efficiency and differentials. Brunson, 5.02 head striking efficiency, negative 7% body striking efficiency, 9% leg strike, pretty even distance striking, negative 22% inside the distance striking efficiency. Our differentials are positive everywhere except for body striking differential per minute. We're at almost a 1 head strike differential per minute, half a ground strike. Darren Till on the other side, efficiency is positive everywhere except for inside the distance striking is minus 18.43. And his differentials are negative per minute in every location. He's getting outstruck everywhere. Advanced significant striking percentages. Where are we going with these punches? Derek Brunson, 79.57% of all significant strikes thrown from Brunson have gone to the head, 10.21% to the body, and 10.21% to the legs. 71.5% of all significant strikes thrown have come from distance. Darren Till on the other side, 81.35% of his strikes thrown to the head, 8% to the body, 10.72 to the legs, and 83.26 of all significant strikes he has thrown have been from distance. There is a graphical representation, those location-based strikes right there. And then we'll jump into the last 5 fight UFC statistics. 4-1 for Brunson. Till is 2-3, and look at this, all green for Brunson. He's getting hit with more strikes, but just barely. Has no knockdowns. Till has 2 knockdowns, and they've both been knocked down 3 times in the last 5. Till has better takedown accuracy, but that's 2 out of 3 compared to 16 out of, whatever that is, 60. Brunson has a 90% takedown defense still. So that is staying consistent. 38.5% control time. That is humongous. Look at these differentials. Positive across the board. 0.91 strikes. 3.2 takedowns. 35% control time differential. I mean, my God. His ass whooping index is a 9 over the past 5. His power index is 0. That's unfortunate. His Chindex is a 1.45. Now, again, that is only because he got knocked down 3 times against Israel Adesanya. As soon as this fight's over, if Till doesn't knock him down, that Chindex is going to go from 1.45 to 0. So that's going to fall off his last 5 like a fucking bad credit rating. You know what I'm saying? After that 7 years, adios. So that's going to happen here after this fight. Darren Till, minus 7.6 ass whooping index over his last 5. Has a fantastic power index though, 1.47. Chindex, pretty bad, 1.30. Categorical trends over the last 5. Brunson has improved his striking accuracy and striking defense over the last 5 compared to his career. He's improved his strikes landed per minute, his takedown accuracy by 3.6%, and his takedown landed per 15 by almost a half of a takedown. His defense has gotten a bit worse, but hey, when you're at 93.75 and you go to 90, who really gives a fuck? It's still fantastic. Darren Till on the other side, he's improved his takedown accuracy 25%. Don't know if that's going to help against a 90% defense. His significant striking accuracy has gone down 6%, and his defense has gone down 3.7%. Strength of schedule. Based on the last 5 professional fights, I do go outside the UFC for these stats. Brunson, 4-1, Till 2-3, same records. Brunson has the much better strength of schedule, and it's not close. 82.5 opponent win percentage, 79 strength of schedule, 79 strength of victory, 95.5 strength of defeat. That's that Israel Adesanya loss. But my God, and look at these ratios too. Shout out to Uncle Wheezy because he came up with these ratio numbers, but they're so important that I just have to include them in mine. Pairing those numbers with my strength of schedule numbers just gives you a full picture of what the strength of schedule is. So we got great numbers from Brunson here. And as you can see, the ratios are the highest on the whole card. Fantastic. Darren Till, below 75 in all of his categories. Not great. His ratios are decent, his win-loss ratios, but they're below, there's only 22 fighters on the card. So we're right in the middle, 12, 11, and 13. So average to below average as far as strength of schedule goes. And Derek Brunson has the better record over those past 5 fights. And one of my lights just turned off for some reason. Derek Brunson beat Kevin Holland handily, unanimous decision, 5 rounds, but ass whoop index of 12.37. He outstruck him. Takedowns landed 6-1. Control time 67%. I mean, just manhandled him. Scored 144 DraftKings points in that fight. My God, what an ass whooping that was. Edmund Shabazian, striker, KO'd Edmund Shabazian in the 3rd round. Just broke him. He was the underdog in that fight too. Outstruck him 5 strikes per minute. Differential. 4 takedowns to 0. 30% control time to 0. Just a fucking ass whooping. Ian Heinisch whooped his ass too. Unanimous decision. 1.53 striking differential. 2 takedowns to none from Ian Heinisch. 14% control time against the wrestler. So that is fantastic. 8.65 ass whoop index. Elias Teodoro, no longer in the UFC. Did get outstruck by him, but 4 takedowns to none. 22% control time to 1. 6.47 ass whoop index. And then he got his ass whooped by Israel Adesanya. 1st round. What are you going to do? That was quite the highlight knockout, I will say. But it was also, 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago. So he has improved so much. I mean, would you call Kevin Holland a striker or a wrestler? I'd probably call him a striker more than a wrestler. Shabazian, definitely a striker. Heinisch, wrestler. Teodoro, I would have to look more in depth. But Derek Brunson has taken it to these strikers, dude. And he's been the underdog in all 5 of his last fights, except for the Teodoro. He was pretty, 8,200 salary to 8,000. That's how that works in DraftKings. So almost the underdog there, pretty much a pick'em. But he's been the underdog in the other 4 remaining fights of his past 5. He's come out on top except for that Israel fight. Let's go over to Darren Till. His last fight over a year ago, Robert Whittaker, 5 rounds. Got outstruck, got taken down 0-2, and got out-controlled there. Negative 7.8 ass whoop index. Kelvin Gastelum, split decision. First thing that I see is a win, but he's got a negative ass whoop index. So that tells me that he lost the fight by the metrics. If you take out the round-by-round scoring, he got outstruck, takedowns were even, and he got out-controlled big time. 18% to 4. Only landed 36 strikes in those 3 rounds. Jorge Masvidal lost 2nd round KO, and he was a huge favorite in that fight. Absolute gigantic favorite. Got outstruck. Takedowns were even. Control time was basically even, but he got fucked up. Tyron Woodley got subbed. He subbed Darren Till rather in the 2nd round. Till didn't even land a strike. What? Had no significant strikes in the fight. Apparently, I have to look at that again, but apparently he did not land us. Yep, it looks right. Woodley controlled 59% of that fight. Knocked him down once. Minus 35.7 ass whoop index. Stephen Thompson was one of Darren Till's 2 wins in his last 5. One I think he actually won. Positive ass whoop index. 5-round fight against Thompson. No joke. He outstruck Stephen Thompson. No joke there. No control time, no ground game to speak of. So you kind of get in. I went through all those pretty slowly just to kind of, you know, Darren Till's been outstruck in 4 of his last 5 fights. Okay. Derek Brunson has outstruck 3 of his last 5 opponents. Almost 4. I mean, I'm seeing striking numbers that I should see for Darren Till on Derek Brunson. It's just interesting. And Derek Brunson is whooping some ass in his last 4 fights, man. Let's go down to these graphs here before I wrap it up. Striking for Brunson, trending up, opponents trending down, and he's above. Fantastic. These graphs are great for Brunson. Look how high above his numbers are compared to his opponents in control time and takedown data. It's not even fucking close. Derek Brunson, 3 fantastic graphs right here. This is ideally exactly what you want to see. Usually if you see 2 graphs like that from wrestlers, you see their striking graph as terrible. But this is not the case for Derek Brunson. Darren Till getting outstruck. He's trending up a little bit, but he's still well below his opponents. Takedowns, he's getting taken there as well. He is trending up, but so are his opponents, and at a way steeper rate than he is. Control time, it's not even close either. 14% to 3%. He is trending up barely. Opponents are trending down, so that's a decent look. But we're nowhere near where we need to be. Yeah, guys, it's for all of those reasons, and all of the green on the left side and all of the red on the right side, and just some of these other numbers that I'm looking through for the reasons that I'm siding with Brunson. I already got a little bit of money on him, enough to win, I think, 2 units. Plus, well, what was it? I can look. I think it was plus 145. Yeah, had to have been plus 145. I'm just going to kind of see where the line goes. I might be throwing some more money on it. I think it's going to be either a decision win for Brunson, or Brunson's going to finish Till. I mean, Till's going to have to basically pop in and out on Brunson here. And I think just hit him with a good 1-2 that's going to knock him down or stumble him like Izzy did. Is Till as good of a striker as Izzy? No. And according to the numbers, he's not even as prolific as Derek Brunson. So we'll have to see, guys. I just really wanted to talk about this fight and go deep into the stats for everybody, so you can kind of make up your minds for yourself. I think people have a lot of recency bias. And actually, that's not even true. It's just, I think people discount Derek Brunson when they really shouldn't. And I think they give Darren Till a bit more credit than maybe he deserves. They're both fantastic fighters, don't get me wrong. I'm very excited for this fight. But I just think Derek Brunson is going to get this done. I just have a feeling. So anyways, thank you so much, guys. We're going to wrap it up there. It's been about a half an hour. Thanks for tuning in to the very first episode of The Tipping Point. There will be many more to come, maybe a couple more this week, depending on, I don't know, what do you guys want to see? Do you want me to break down any other fights? Let me know in the comments. Let me know on Twitter, @MonkMaddox. Hit me up, and I'd love to break down a couple more. Later in the week, once salaries come out, I'm putting out the game theory video, which is all about DraftKings focus. And probably Thursday or Friday, I'll get some picks out once I look at these bets a little bit more and they release some props. So thanks a ton for tuning in. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, do your tape study, and let me know what you think about Brunson versus Till. I appreciate it, guys. We'll see you next time. Peace the fuck out.